Hello everybody and welcome to an awesome Age of Charlemagne Merica survival battle. Now this was actually fought by myself while just mucking around on the Age of Charlemagne DLC. Right, so this is a real battle that happened a little bit, those models just looking just a little bit off there. So I'm defending my town here and the enemy has sent their cav charging in. Luckily I'm holding a little barricade here. I've got a little choke point here, here, and here, so I'm quite set, and I just really was focusing on defending this little northern tip. I do have a vessel here that I just landed, and I actually wanted to distract the enemy a little bit longer, but they cannot reboard. Right, enemy stupidly sends their cavalry to their deaths as they run into a spear wall, and then on this side we're just firing down on them with everything we've got into their units, and I laid out target the general himself, who's already lost 6 units. I'm sending these 2 units here to sally around and help defend this weak point. They do have a unit coming in, but that's no worries there. I heavily set up defending the beach, so now that's resulting in me pulling all my men away and focusing more to the battle here. Now obviously, as you can see here, we are mass routing them, and this is sending a chain route, and then we're just going to target the general now, because these units are basically as good as gone. But they do end up rallying, so I do try and target the wavering ones just that little bit longer. Right here in reserve we've got 3 spearmen. I think these guys are heavy spear, no, they're medium spear, they're 3rd spearmen. And then of course we've got my general here looking epic as always. Really like their helmet design, but of course now back here we have surrounded the enemy general. They look really nice also, by the way. They look absolutely epic. I think this is a Germanic faction, but we surrounded him now, and you can see we just killed him, and that'll send him massive routes very soon. You can see the unit size there. We're basically just taking easy pickings right here, because these cav can do nothing against us on this little hill here. They cannot do anything, so we're just picking them off as we go, and now they're wavering. Can we kill all of them? It's 3 left, 2 left. I think that'll be it. Now we're going to target the remaining. Right, so you can see here, for some reason they have all stopped, and later you'll find out why, but they have all stopped rowing. They're just calmly sitting here waiting, probably because they're waiting on a signal from the cavalry, but they do not realize that the cav are actually dead. So now all I'm doing is just readjusting myself to these positions, so I have a little unit gather here, hold these positions. As you can see, the enemy's going to be coming in here. They'll most likely split into 2, and we've got 2 choke points here, 1 here, and then they'll push into this choke point and to this choke point, and over here we've got this choke point, and then I've got a reinforcing regiment there ready to pull in from behind. Also, I didn't notice this, but it wasn't too big of an issue that this area was actually open, so they're basically quite useless. But as you can see, they're only now starting to board, starting to get off their vessels when this light melee ship comes. So now I'm going to send all my men basically in a disarray to relocate on this side. And my archers, I tried to push them up a little bit, but then I thought, you know what, that's not a good idea. Let's just pull them back, put a couple archers here, and then of course have them all sallied up outside here, maybe even up here. But here the enemy does come. You can see they've got big amount of numbers. How many do they have? They've got a little bit more than me, but that's not too worrying, considering we do hold the city. Now, one of my new favorite tactics is to really have a couple of spear units and have a ton of archers. Archers are really OP, especially in defenses. Right, here now I'm sending my 2 forces up just because I thought this would be a really good spot to hold. If we can hold this tower, that means that this tower can just keep shooting on them while we hold the line, and I'm actually targeting them with these towers and units as well. They're going to send some volleys over right here. They're actually missing. God. So I've pushed up a little bit prematurely. I'm sending my archers in now. That's actually going to do a lot of damage. You can see even my friendly forces are under fire as well, which isn't that good of an idea. These guys are going to soon have to rotate back in here, because I really didn't account for their superior numbers here. I'm just kind of rushing in, which was silly of me. So there we go. Now we engage here, but then they're getting hit in the rear. So now I'm going to have to readjust my men. Although I'm not too worried, because look at this, we got all these epic units just in reserve here, sitting back, waiting for their orders. So I really like in the Age of Charlemagne DLC. It's very good because you've got this clear color palette, so you can see we're very clearly green and they're very clearly yellow. And now we have routed a medium spear infantry. I think it was mainly they were the first one here, and these towers just hitting them and hitting them hard. So you can see my men kind of just like waiting, like, okay, what are we gonna do? So eventually we're gonna have to change up our game plan here, because you can see the numbers that they're starting to falter, and they've definitely got the numerical superiority, especially when they're going to send these skirmishes through to target my other men. So now what I've done is I'm sending one of these third spearmen to go ahead and hold this choke point, as I know they're going to be pushing up soon. I've readjusted some of my units to come here, and of course I'm going to try and push this line up just a little bit further, so instead of being back, every unit's going to shuffle forward in that sort of motion. Archers are going to move forward as well, as they're going to be very useful in this siege's defense. Especially, you can look at these couple of archers getting nice shots in here. Right, this unit's fleeing. That's a very big worry for us, because now this unit's going to get surrounded, and of course that sends a chain rout as well. They're going to get massacred. Right, I did just reinforce their unit. These two units here with this unit. They're going to get swarmed very quickly and lose the fray. As you can see, that's my archers actually set up there, and setting up my 3 backup field spearmen just in this little location here. And we're going to quickly rush this unit over here and try and fill this pocket. This unit luckily was already stationed here. Instead of engaging, I've re-pulled them back. Now I'm going to send some spears in here to quickly cover their retreat. This unit will break through, and I'll have to engage here, but then I will be able to push them up a little bit further eventually. So we do hold this choke point that I initially didn't want to hold with this unit that went to go help, but you know, obviously couldn't really help, so they're still holding that. So that is really good news. This also means that my archers can start picking off, and just that's going to be a lot for them to take in, because they're going to be trying to hold the line, and then meanwhile they're going to get pelted from the top. They're going to get extremely exhausted, and as you can see they're very tired already and shaking, some of them. On this side, my men are quickly trying to engage through this little encampment here, trying to engage the skirmishers, which should very easily just absolutely massacre there. But they seem to be doing the exact same to us. They seem to be massacring my units. You can see a couple of blows getting in there, and then trading hits. But yeah, they got the numbers there, but that's the good thing about this choke point. Numbers really don't matter all too much. Now, this unit's rallied. I don't realize it all too quickly, but I will send them back into the fray. I have to do that very soon. My reserves here are still there. You see still a ton of units that have fallen all around the place, and surprisingly my men here of course have lost. I thought they would absolutely smash the enemy, but now I'm gonna have to relocate my spears all accordingly, because if you see here, they've broken through the lines. Now we're just holding at this little gate here, and you can see they're going to start taking damage very quickly. This makeshift barrier. And now though, luckily, my archers are going to be able to start picking them off from this position here. But one of them has lost ammunition. I was kind of grateful for that, because that meant I could send them in as a charging unit later on. Okay, so my units here are just trying to hold back these forces from attacking me in the rear, and I'm going to have to eventually engage most of my spearmen for that occasion, but I was hoping that one unit could just be enough for now. So as you can see, they have lost their ammunition, so they're just standing up there. Luckily, the sheer amount of missile weight being put forward upon them has made this melee unit flee, and then they're going to break through there, but they don't know. They're going to want to get a little bit charged. They're backing up a little bit. These archers aren't going to hold for long, which is why is why I sent my spears around this side, just to create a massive delay in these forces. Also because I saw an opportunity here. You can see there's a lot of very light skirmishes, so I thought maybe we can get quite a lot of casualties, but this mercenary unit's going to disembark very quickly. Obviously we don't have any defenses here, and these archers are the only ones really sitting there, and of course they've got their daggers out ready to attack. These boatmen, there's kind of a defending force. I'm going to send most of my men in here now, just because to plug the gap there, because they're resending most of their forces around as well. Quickly here, I'm going to have to engage one of my reinforcement units back in this side to hold them off, and I'm really counting on them to do the job here. And luckily, we have a breakthrough because of my spears engaging here, and of course the sheer amount of missile fire. We've breaking through here, and that's actually going to be really beneficial for us. I'm going to get some of my men just to keep impaling them with all my might. My general, very luckily, still alive there. You can see on this side I've used the general's bonus to give these guys a little bonus, just because, I mean, you can see their men. These men are just charging through, and they're going to absolutely, unfortunately, destroy my men at some point, of course. Okay, now what they've done is they've sent half of their force on this side to go ahead and deal with my units here. And that's not a good idea, because I was not prepared for that. I was too busy on the other side. But now they are going to engage in this epic charge over the dead wall. But they're like, actually, no, we have to commit to orders. And they're doing a better charge. They're kind of just mucking around there. Some of my archers still targeting these guys, unfortunately. They're going to have to target this unit very quickly. And now they have decided to engage now. You can see here. My unit here on this side now fleeing. It's going to open up this whole gateway into the rear of my unit. So that's not good news at all. And I'm going to have to deal with that very quickly. Otherwise, I will lose this battle. You see, I don't really have that many more good men. You can see most of my better units are sort of extremely exhausted. The only units that are really quite fresh are my archers. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to push in my general just for that nice little bonus, and to plug this gap on this side, just to hold the line here. Okay, so these guys are absolutely exhausted. Their general has fallen because we killed their general very early on, remember. And the battle seems to be turning in our favor as we're kind of breaking down these units just with a sheer amount of numbers, and not necessarily our units that are better. We don't necessarily have stronger unites. So now, for some reason, they've decided to leave this whole flank open and attack my force head on. And what I actually have done here is I've sent my feared boatmen and my feared spearmen just out a little bit, just to gain some ground, really, because right now I want to split this force up. I say they're kind of a horde. They're not necessarily strong units, but they're just very powerful with the sheer amount of numbers. Now I'm sending in my very elite men here now to engage them, which should hold out for quite a while. And these guys are all still targeting this fleeing unit, which is very unfortunate, because I did not realize that very early on. And I do realize it now. And yeah, these guys are just obviously all targeting that force there, apart from those fleeing. You see my spears now starting to falter after taking many casualties. They're retreating now. Some really cool animations here. Now, unfortunately, my archer superiority hasn't really helped. You can see there's tons of my men lying here rather than them, and we're recapturing this tower after a while. And here we have, luckily, our men having a little bit of a breakthrough, getting these units fleeing. That's actually going to help, and it's going to send in a massive chain route. And because of that chain route, we can actually focus all our attention on this sort of stronger unit here, and absolutely put all our attention to there. See many brave men here who have died there. Very awesome. Then we're targeting them. These units still not fully routed, but they are running away because they're exhausted. And of course these units all over here doing the same. Probably more interested in the battle actually. See even a couple of horses here. This is just really awesome because this battle has quite a lot of meaning to me as I was fighting this faction. It was actually quite a big opportunity for my whole east coast to really crumble. As I'm playing as Mercia here, and in my campaign I have conquered all of England, and I'm now conquered basically the Kingdom of Brittany and all of the north coast of Europe, and I have actually married Charlemagne to my faction, but at the time of this battle I was still struggling to hold the Netherlands and Belgium. Oh, that guy just got wrecked. This guy's just having pokes at him. They're just having pokes at each other. Aggressive pokes though. This sort of flank we've kind of broken through on this sort of side here. You can see lots and lots of units retreating, and now these men are wavering as well. And that's just going to be able to let us go ahead and just... Oh! He did a full spin and everything. Damn. And that's actually going to be the victory for us. We only lost 1,200 to their 1,000, so we did lose more. We had less men, but our superior numbers here were very key. So I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and you'll most likely be seeing one of these replays very shortly. Alright guys, see you.